Good evening. Welcome to the final Kneejerk stream of the season. There will of course be a Sunday stream next week, but we won't be knee-jerking for anything because there'll be no more game weeks. So this is the final one. Hang on, I need my inhaler. Weird. Sorry about that. Okay, hello. We're here. Free hit has been good. Free hit has been very good. There's a lot of people with like over 70 points. Feels very quiet. I need some music in my ears. Hang on. I'm not usually streaming in silence. Okay. Gone from 150k to 30k in 2 game weeks. Huge. Let's talk Eurovision. Nah, let's not. Ings captain and dropping Richarlison last second was stupid. Not necessarily stupid, but yes, it hasn't worked out very well. That's for sure. I'm actually up on the fact that the FPL site was locked earlier. Got a bit lucky there. By the way, some people think that I was trying to do a last-minute switch to get rid of Vardy. The only switch I was trying to do was Kane and Coutinho back to Ings and De Bruyne. So I'm up on that move right now because Kane has scored and De Bruyne has done nothing. But obviously Ings could still outscore Coutinho. So who knows? Kept Kulusevski instead of Madison. Ouch. You need to go to the Vardy party for some music. Absolutely. I've got a bit of J-Lo on right now. Vardy triple captain. Wow. I think we did talk. I think I got questioned about it briefly on the deadline stream earlier today. I don't always change last minute. That's false. In fact, I can't remember last time I did that. I would have considered Vardy for captain if I knew he was definitely going to start, but I think not knowing he was definitely going to start, that would have been just a step too far. And to be honest, I quite like Richarlison captain anyway. So I'm not going to worry too much about that, especially when Richarlison's only like 1 point behind, I think. So all good, all good. Even one of my best mates messaged me on WhatsApp earlier and said, "For real, did you just do it for the content?" I was like, no, it's just sometimes his last minute changes. Andy quick on the knee jerk when he gets 77 points. I mean, to be fair, I was late. I was late to this stream. Usually I'm on time for Sunday streams, but I was late to this one. Yeah, there was definitely some bad luck and some good luck. I would say that Everton going down to 10 men and Richarlison getting a goal after the red card was pretty lucky. But I would also say that Everton were doing pretty well until that red card, and there probably should have been a penalty on Richarlison for the shirt pull. And look, I know that would have felt quite a soft penalty, but if that shirt pull happens anywhere else on the pitch, it is a foul, and it would be given as a foul. But because it was in the area, the ref didn't give it. So that gets given. Richarlison gets his goal a bit earlier. Everton are 2-0 up. The red card never happens. Maybe we're sat here with 2 clean sheets. I'm not complaining about my score. I'm very happy with it. But these things are fine margins. Also, that is the third game, or the third kind of game-ish game week set of fixtures, I guess, where a red card has kind of affected one of my players indirectly. So there was a red card. There was a red card for Rafinha, both his games in double game week 36, and then the red card this week for frickin' Everton. So a bit annoying, but whatever. Kane penalty was soft. I gotta be honest, I've not had a chance to catch up on any of the football today, which is not great, I know, but I'll try and catch up tomorrow. I've been out most of the day, so the only game I saw was the Everton one. I've not seen... There's some people saying that Watkins shouldn't have had his goal. I don't know about that. I've not seen that. But I'll have a proper look. If anyone captain Bowen, fair play. Yeah, fair play indeed. I thought City were gonna screw up. I mean, they have drawn, but still, I guess a draw is better than losing, right? So it's still very much in their hands. Yeah, sorry, I can bring my team up for sure. Did I put the team up? Yeah, hang on. This is the team. I was a bit gutted that Villa didn't keep the double clean sheet. I was checking while I was out, and I saw that they had the clean sheet for quite a while. I don't know when Schlupp scored. I don't know if I can look it up now. Let me have a look here. Crystal Palace. Yeah, 81st minute. Okay, so it wasn't quite last minute, but yeah, that would have been amazing. That would have been amazing if they kept that. But look, it was still good anyway. Luka Dean's the bonus actually in. Let me just refresh this. So 77 points I'm on, which according to Live FPL is like a 13,000 game week rank, which is insane. And also a lot of the kind of players that are good that are left before obviously the second set of double game week fixtures. So tomorrow's game for Arsenal, Tuesday's game for Liverpool. Like Salah's effective ownership is really low. Trent's is only like 50%. I think Saka's like 30%. So these players aren't actually massively owned this week, or don't have massive effective ownership. So they're not even that bad for me. And then obviously I've still got Pickford, Mikalenko, Luka Dean, Cash, Zaha, Maddison, Coutinho, Richarlison, and Vardy to go again. So I mean, I should hit 100 now. I'll be disappointed if I don't. But yeah, let's see what happens. I mean, Maddison and Vardy may or may not get rotated against Chelsea. I still think that the final game week 38, could be the one where there's more rotation, just because of the turnaround in time. Like Maddison and Vardy have now got till Thursday till they have to play again, so they could play again. I think there's a good chance of Maddison starting twice. I think Vardy probably less so. But let's see what happens. Apparently Lampard high-fived Rondon after the red. Did he? I mean, he might have been like trying to keep his confidence up, I guess. If you'd had more time, would you have switched back Vardy to Ings? No, so we need to... Let me get this straight, because yes, okay, I was lucky, but I was not trying to get rid of Vardy. It was between Kane and Coutinho or De Bruyne and Ings. Vardy was in. I wanted Vardy. So the only real issue was whether I had... yeah, at that point I decided to have Vardy. So the last minute switch was not to get rid of Vardy. How many points off the top 10k? I think it's like 16 points. No reason for Vardy not to start again with the form he's in. But it's nothing about form, is it? It's all. I mean, we all know Vardy's the number one striker at Leicester. It's all just whether or not he's recovered, right? Will you please do a free hit 38 draft this week, chasing in mini league and trying to fit 4 premiums: Kane, Son, Lukaku, Vardy, plus Mount James and Madison Barnes? Can Sessegnon and Zinchenko be enablers? Yeah, I think so. I think Sessegnon definitely. I said Sessegnon or Emerson Royale. I think. Am I right in saying that Emerson Royale went off early, or did he go off with a clean sheet locked in? He did go off, didn't he? But I don't know what time he went off. I don't know if it was after 60 minutes. But yeah, I think back the wing backs. Sessegnon's a good price for 4.3 million. Yeah, if you bought in Vardy outside of free hit, fair play to you. I think if Vardy starts in game week 38, that could be more goals in it. Kulusevski should start versus Norwich. Yeah, I got to be honest. In the end, well, I don't want to speak too early, because obviously there's still some big games to come. But a lot of things fell into place for free hit this week. Like, again, I was chatting. Like, I think people think that I only use the terms lucky and unlucky when it goes against me, but there's a lot of luck involved with how the free hit has fallen. So Salah's got injured. So even if you didn't free hit, a lot of people have sold him. So that all straight away makes it less of a worry for those of us that free hit. Obviously, there's chance of other Liverpool rotation, so people were worried about that. You also get Salah back in game week 38. If he starts, like, Salah could be a bit of a differential now. And a lot of the players that are good for 38 may not perform in 37. And obviously, at the same time, we got Richarlison in when he did really well, Maddison and Vardy, like a few crazy scores around. So I think in the end, yeah, free hit is going to work out pretty well. And there's obviously some luck involved. Some bad luck as well. I think the red card, it could have easily been a double clean sheet for Everton. Like Brentford did, I mean, who knows, right? Because the red card was quite early. Brentford did, I think the way Brentford played when Everton were down to 10 men, it was really good. Like, I know it's much easier to play against 10 men, obviously, but the way they did it was, I thought was quite impressive. That sounds a bit weird, I guess, because they were just down to 10 men. But they really just overloaded. Like, at one point, I think I saw someone tweet they only had one recognised centre-back on the pitch. And they really just overloaded. That left side, I tweeted just before Gordon got brought off. Gordon had to do so much running. They just constantly kept the pressure on. the one thing with Everton losing is they were. Someone pointed out to me Everton don't have many players to rotate to, but there's no chance of rotation for the likes of Richarlison now for the second game. It's going to be difficult for them to keep a clean sheet against Palace, but I'm happy to go again with the players I've got. Son had 2 great chances to bag a big haul, ended up with Now, and I captained him. Yeah, a lot of people captained him. He was only over 100% effective ownership, which I thought I was a little bit surprised at that, to be honest, with a double game week. Like, it's not like one of those weeks where there's only like 1 or 2 teams doubling. There were so many. I thought a lot of people would just choose a double game week captain. I guess Son is just very highly owned, so it doesn't take too many people to captain him to push him over. Okay, Emerson played 89 minutes. Fair enough. Top 10k is possible. I need players like Trent and Saka to blank, and I also need all my players that, I need Vardy and Maddison and Richarlison to play again and do really well, which is obvious thing to say, but yeah, top 10k is possible, but I think I need to get into the top 10k this week because my team is so template for game week 38. Unless I go crazy different with a captain, I'm probably not going to make up a lot of points. So I need to get close to or in the top 10k this week. That will be difficult. Sessignon, 21 points over 3 games. It's regular on out for the season. Very good enabler. Yeah, completely agree. I mentioned him on the Defenders chat on the game week preview. That if you didn't want to go for a double game weeker, I'd probably go for a Spurs defender. We have 9 more players to go plus captain. Average team has 8.8 players. Oh, wow, okay. So, yeah, okay. So, we're not... So, the same amount of players, but obviously just different players. So, yeah, maybe it could be good. Many of us have been burnt by bringing in double game week players. Yeah, I mean, I tweeted last night, because I think a lot of people, when they weigh up the free hit, they only focus on the score in the game week. I mean, there's no point in even comparing the free hit team to my original team because obviously I built my original team because I knew I was free hitting, so that score doesn't matter. But not only has it got good points this week, it let me make different moves in the weeks running up to this. So anyone that didn't have free hit, they probably bought in a bunch of double game week players early, and a lot of them haven't done that well. Like Richarlison hasn't done that well, even in the game week 36 double. Schmeichel's done pretty much nothing. I know he got a clean sheet against Norwich, but I don't think he's done much outside of that. So like in game week 35, for example, if I had no free hit, I probably would have bought Coutinho, but instead I got Foden, and he's got more points since. Same with Nketiah and Ederson last week instead of Schmeichel and Richarlison. Like that's just extra points before we even get to the free hit. So I think a lot of people don't accurately measure the free hit, basically. And obviously, again, like if Schmeichel and Richarlison had done really well last week and Ederson had conceded and Nketiah hadn't got 2 goals against Leeds, where Meslier for the first one was doing who knows what, then obviously it doesn't look quite as good. But yeah. City losing the clean sheet was huge for us free hitters. Main threats to go now are Liverpool defence and Saka. Yeah, for sure. Interestingly, though, obviously everyone said the league is absolutely done. Man City are not going to drop any points. We had that discussion last night. What's happened? Man City have dropped points. Now, obviously, it's still in their hands. They just need to win, and it's done. But it does put a little bit of pressure on. And also, because of the goal difference now, I mean, it's still 7, but Liverpool get to play against Southampton. So they could close the goal difference gap. Although, is goal difference going to make any difference now? Yeah, Liverpool win. They're 1 point behind. Yeah, and then maybe Liverpool draw last day and Man City lose. Yeah, so I don't think goal difference is probably going to be as important now. But it could still make a difference. Either way, if I had a Liverpool attacker and they start, I'd be feeling pretty good, I think. Yeah, realistically, the goal difference thing is probably... I mean, I did say yesterday the goal difference thing is probably not going to make a difference, but still possible. Feels weird there's a deadline stream and Kneejerk in the same day. It does, doesn't it? Yeah, I agree. Why was Schmeichel out today? I actually don't know. Does anyone know why Schmeichel was out? Very strange. Was he on the bench? Or was he just completely out? I mean... it's easy for me to say because I don't own Schmeichel, but sometimes you've just got to laugh at these things. How many times over the last few weeks have I said the only player that is nailed is Schmeichel, and then he doesn't start? It's just, that is just FPL for you sometimes. Oh, he was injured, was he? Oh, he's on the bench. Fatigue for a goalkeeper, really? Bench another penultimate Kneejerk. Don't start that again. Rogers wanted to play Ward 2 games. This and Norwich. Wait, didn't Schmeichel play against Norwich though? Oh. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Apparently he said he would give the other guy 2 games for the end of the season. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, like, that is just that is just bad luck. That's one of those things you cannot account for. People would have got Schmeichel in because he's got very good fixtures and back-to-back doubles. They didn't have a free hit. And then to miss one of the games, I mean, they didn't keep a clean sheet anyway, but who knows? Maybe they would have with Schmeichel. I think, if I remember correctly, Watford's expected goals was 2 points. Wow. I'm just looking at the expected goals. Watford 2.6, 1 goal. Leicester 1.87, 5 goals. I mean, I haven't seen the goals yet, but that feels like we probably got a bit lucky with Leicester. A little bit lucky. I'm not saying every goal was lucky, but a little bit lucky they got so many. You're only on 10 points. Wow. Just end this season now. Look, this time next week, the season will be over. We can look ahead to the next season. Okay, Ward had a knee injury for Norwich. Fair enough. To be fair, Team News and Ticks did say beforehand that Schmeichel was rotated. He did, but he said that, and this isn't obviously his fault. He probably just got the news then. It was like a minute or two before the deadline, so most people won't have seen it. And also, if you're not free hitting, you probably don't make the transfer. What model is that using? I'm seeing 2.5 to 2.5. I'm just looking on info goal. I think FB Ref doesn't have the stats this quickly. I could be wrong. Yeah, I'm just using info goal. Like, I know it's probably not going to be completely accurate, but it's probably not that bad either. Took your advice and didn't bring in Richarlison for 40 as I wasn't going to captain him. Yeah, okay, that sucks. That sucks. Not much more I can say about that. Ings off at 71 minutes will start the next game, surely. So I would be fairly confident that Ings will start the next game, but the fact that he came off early doesn't necessarily make it more of a chance because he always comes off early. Like, the only reason he played to 90 minutes against Liverpool is because Watkins got injured. Like, they said on commentary that Watkins was going to stay, that Ings was the one about to come off, but then Watkins got injured, so they changed the sub. My rank is so my rank on screen is 14,968, but I think looking at live FPL, I am just outside the top 15k when all the subs and stuff come in. Let's see what happens. It's a bit annoying having midweek games going so long into the week when you've got content to make. Because ideally you want to stack all the content after the game week's finished, but it's just not possible. It's too much stuff to go through. Stop kicking the cable. Come on, come back to me. Oh, have I kicked? Oh no, there we go. Okay. Stop moving your feet. Haaland FPL price prediction. I'm going to say 12.5. I know this sounds stupid, but it's also, in some ways, it's a little bit difficult to predict without knowing the other prices. Do you know what I mean? Like, if they put Kane to 12, I could probably see Haaland being 12 as well, if that makes sense. But I'm going to guess 12.5. The thing with FPL is, it's not, there's a few things that go into it. What did they just do? What is their potential? But also, obviously I don't know this, I've never spoken to him, but you can just see with the pricing, it's almost like how badly would it break the game if we underprice him? And I just think because he's playing for Man City, they're not going to risk him just going mad. So I think it'll be 12.5. I think 12 will be the minimum. I'd be surprised if they go 11.5. I really would. I think you just got to look at the expectations. He's in a team that can go and score 100 goals a season. He's probably I think a lot of us think he will get penalties. He's probably going to be nailed for the most part when fit. Maybe they rotate him around Champions League. I don't know. But I think 12 minimum, to be honest. I think 12 minimum. We're both on 2,506 points and the overall rank is 15,060. Yeah, so basically I did the graphic and then I realised I didn't do the after sub one and I just left it because it's such a small difference. That's basically it. The template is too predictable. FPL towers need to get the mid prices right. Yeah, I don't think it's... I thought, to be honest, I thought the pricing was pretty good this year. What FPL can't do is predict what's going to happen with teams, right? And like a lot of cheap strikers just either didn't perform or got injured. Like Wilson got injured for a lot of the time. Calvert-Lewin's barely been an option this season, whereas in the last couple of seasons, he's been a really good player for FPL. So that's just a couple of examples. I'd have to look through the whole list, but I think midfielders this year, very few. Like Foden's obviously done well for a while. People have punted on Man City midfielders at times and done okay. Like Sancho's been in and out of teams a few times, but the kind of mid-price midfielders just nothing. What they probably need to do next year is really put the defenders up to make it a really difficult call. Because if they put Trent at 7 or 7.5 million again, he'll be in everyone's team, and people will just look for those budget midfielders again. I think if you put him up to 8.5, even maybe 9 million, then people have to start making a call. And I think when you price someone like Trent at 9 million, I know everyone will sit here now and say he'll still be in my team, he'll still be the first pick, but I don't think that would be the case for a lot of people, and I think it would make you make a decision. And let's be honest, right? Trent is on... He's already on 206 points, for Christ's sake. He has to be 9 million next year, 8.5 or 9 million. This is the second season. In fact, he's played 300 or 400 less minutes than the last two seasons. Well, it's about 250 to 400 less minutes, and he's already over 200 points. It's mental. It's absolutely mental. He has to be 8.5 minimum, I think. Like he's already... What's his price right now? 8.4. I think he's 8.5 minimum. And I think Robertson has to be kind of close to that as well. I think Cancelo, probably not quite as close. What's Cancelo on points-wise right now? He's on 200 points as well. Hang on. I mean, I know they're good. Like, I'm not shocked that they're good. I just didn't realise they'd both hit 200 points already. Yeah, Cancelo has to be 7.58 million. I think they have to. I think they have to. And then you really make it... Like, you can't have all three then. I mean, maybe you can, but you have to make... Imagine if Kane's 12, Haaland's 12, Salah's 13, Trent's 9, Robertson's 8.5, Cancelo's 8, James is 7.5 or 8. Like, there's decisions to make then. There's decisions to make. There will still... I mean, I think people think when that kind of thing happens, there will still be a template. Like, of course, there's always going to be certain players that are in our teams because of fixtures or whatever... But that would really make you think. Van Dijk has scored more points than every single striker. I mean, he's so consistent. I mean, he's nearly on 200 points as well. It's mental. Solving for X. Best optimal triple Chelsea, triple Spurs with less hits. It's going to be a fun week of planning. Yeah. I mean, Chelsea, really the best Chelsea... I mean, triple Chelsea is difficult for the final game because obviously you don't know who's going to play. But it's probably got to be three players from Lukaku, Mount, Alonso and James. And obviously, if you've got to spend money on Son or Kane, then you probably ditch Lukaku to get the other lot of money, right? Any chance for a free hit video for Gameweek 38? Yes, I'll do a free hit video. I don't think it's going to be that popular, but I know a lot of people have kind of saved it. Based on his returns, there's no justification for James being priced at 8. Yeah, but this is the thing, right? You can't. It would be stupid just to base prices on points alone, right? James has played 1,600 minutes. Okay, let me work this out, right? So, how am I going to work this out? I'm not going to work it out. Okay, in fact, actually, there's a better way to do it. Let's look at points per match. Points per match for defenders. In fact, why am I doing it on this screen? Let me do it on this screen. Let's enjoy this together. Defenders, points per match. James is on 5.3. And obviously there's quite a few 1-point cameos. So he's only 0.4 per game worse than Cancelo. So if we're saying that Cancelo is 8, then James has to be close. James has to be close. I mean, I know what you're saying, because if I'm saying James is 8 because of 5.3 points per game, then Matip has to be close. I don't think that's the case, right? I think you don't want to overprice players. You start putting Matip at 7.5 million, no one ever buys him. But with Reece James, if you look at his attacking potential, he's as good as Trent, right? Or he's close to Trent. So you have to factor that in. And you've got to remember, and I'll say this all next year, season total points are a really, really bad way to judge a player or to think about whether a player is viable for your team. It's a really bad way of doing it, because you don't generally have players for the whole season. You only want, basically, it's what damage can they do over a certain period of time, and James can do damage. I kind of agree that he shouldn't be the same price as Trent, because injury record and stuff like that this year, etc., etc. I think if Trent's 9, I think it would be harsh to put James as 9 as well. But I think James at 8, 7.58, I think that's fair. I mean, the thing is, then, if they underprice Chilwell because he's been out for so long, then everyone just goes for him and they don't go for James. So I think FPL have a pretty hard time with balancing prices, to be honest. This is my team for Game Week 38, by the way. I'm currently benching Rafinha. Gutted that I'm benching Rafinha. But I think, honestly, if Salah is injured for Game Week 38, or there's word that he's not starting, I will do Salah to Son. Probably. I'm very tempted to go for Kane. But I just don't think a hit is worth it in the final day. So I'll probably do Salah to Son. And then if one of the defenders misses out, I'll probably just play Rafinha. And then just hope for the best. I think it's the final game week. That's probably what I'll do, as boring as that sounds. Bobby, we can share the Barnes and Maddison points. Jump from 380k in 35 to 152k now. Very nice. That's huge rank increase. If James is 8 million and Mount is 7.5, it does not seem right. Yeah, but hang on a second. I think we have to. I really think we have to readjust our perception. Honestly, I know I say this a lot, but for someone who does videos, I'm just an idiot. Mason Mount's on 5.4 points per match, right? So why should James be less than him? They're close. I mean, Mason Mount's probably going to get a price rise next year, I would say. He's on 167 points. I'd say he'll probably be 8 or 8.5 next year. No point doing Salah to Son if you want top 10k. Well, I mean, that all depends on what position I am once the week's actually over. I mean, let's not forget, all my double game week players could blank in the second round of games. Saka could go mad, Trent could go mad, and suddenly I'm nowhere near top 10k. And also, you say that, but I mean, it's hard to look up what ownership players are right now, because obviously a lot of people free hit, so the effective ownership numbers are off. But I mean, James and Alonso, that's pretty different. I don't think many people have both of those players against Watford at home as well. Like Nketiah is a bit of a differential. Kulusevski, yeah, slightly, I guess. Like I wouldn't really worry too much. I wouldn't worry too much about going different. I mean, Salah to Son, you're right, everyone will own him, but then I just hope the rest of the players make up the difference, right? I mean, if Salah's injured, Salah to Son is the most obvious move. And if I was going to go to Kane, like I don't think there's any real reason to bench Nketiah. So I would have to take a hit to like do Weghorst to Kane and then bench whoever I bring in for Salah. It just doesn't seem like a good move to me. Like I would absolutely prefer Kane over Son for the final game week as a bit of a differential. Like Kane's ownership is lower, but I just don't think it's going to be worth a hit unless someone gets injured. If Nketiah gets injured, then maybe I do Salah to a midfielder and Nketiah to Kane and something like that. But again, I could just do... No, I probably would do that because Weghorst and Broja, you just don't know if they're going to start. You can't make everyone expensive. No, but you should make the players that score a lot of points expensive. We might get 3 wildcards next year with the World Cup. Possibly. I've thought about that. I don't know if that's what they'll do. Maybe. They could just force you to use the second wildcard. They could just leave it up to you whether you use it straight after the World Cup or not. I've got a feeling though, because they'll want people back on the platform, they will give a wild card after the World Cup. Captain Alonso, yeah, possibly James or Alonso could be captains. I could do Salah to Mason Mount instead of Son. I don't know. I'll see what my rank is, to be honest. The problem is, I just think Son is such a good captain for Game Week 38. I don't know if there's any point in trying to back against him. Like, Kane and Son have got to be right up there. Do they take player development into account or purely on the previous season? So, we don't know how they price players, but I would say previous season does play a part. Like, Son, for example, was 100% getting a big price rise this year because he's just hit 200 points again. But it's also what they can do. So, like, if a player, like Haaland, like again, just coming back to him, he's playing for the best team in the league that scored the most goals pretty much every season in a position they haven't had filled since Aguero went, right? And he's probably going to be pretty nailed. He could get penalties as well. I mean, he could get some pretty big hauls. So you have to price on previous season, but also what's likely to happen next season. Like, what are the expectations, etc. Vardy, a big differential for 38. Will a -8 pay off? I mean, I really would be careful about hits in Game Week 38. Like, it'd be very easy for me to sit here and say, yeah, it's the final week, just go for it. It's the exciting move. It's the last chance to make up points. And all that stuff is true. But you really want to be taking out some bad players to justify a -8 in the last game week of the season. For captain, you can probably argue a point sip could be worth it. Yeah, and Haaland's really, really, really good as well. That does help. Yeah, that's one thing to remember, right? We're talking about James and Trent and Cancelo all going up in price. There will be players that come down in price. Lukaku, mentioned by Mark, will come down in price for sure. Bruno Fernandes will definitely come down in price. Players like that. Sancho will come down in price. Saka will go up. In fact, let me look at the list. Let me just do a really, real quick fire. Who's going up, who's going down. I mean, all the players at the top of the points list are probably going up. Son, definitely up. Bowen, easy. 8.5 million midfielder next year, probably. Maybe 7.5, if we get lucky. De Bruyne probably staying where he is. Saka definitely going up. Jota will be a forward. He'll probably be 9.5 million, maybe, something like that. I'm just thinking of it off the top of my head. Maddison may not change. He was 7 this year. Yeah, he's been 7 the last few years. He might stay the same. One other thing as well is with the pricing, one thing I wish they would take into account is not just the ability of the player, but how many people actually pick them. Because Mane is just too expensive, right? And I know why he's that expensive. Right? I fully get it. He is... What did he start at? Yeah, 12 million, and he is the 5th highest scoring player, 174. I mean, he could hit 200 by the end of the season, probably not. So I get why he's so expensive, but no one is going to pick him ahead of Salah unless you make the price difference big. Or if you make Robertson and Trent really expensive so that they're not the obvious... Because right now, it's obvious. You go for Salah, Trent, and Robertson throughout the season because they're the best value players. Like, Mane just needs a price drop. I would also argue similar for Man City midfielders because there's so many of them. Like, Sterling, for example, at 10.5 million. I think, was he 11 million to start the season? Yeah, he was 11 million. Too expensive. I know people have punted on him throughout the season, but I think you want to make players like that a bit more enticing. Otherwise, it just I don't know. It comes down to very limited scenarios when people want to go for him, when they know they're definitely going to play and it's like a free hit or something. I think if you price Sterling at like 9, you can't go too low, but like 9, 9.5, people would be more tempted just to have him for a bit of a longer run. If Trent was 9.5 and Mane was 10.5, who would you pick? I don't want to cop out and sit on the fence, but like it obviously depends on who on what the rest of the player prices are. Like if there's some like I don't know, let's say Conte is at Spurs again next year, he gets a few extra players in, and he bolsters that defence. The Spurs defence probably isn't going to go up very high. If Matt Doherty is still the first choice right back and he's 5.5 million. And so it's Matt Doherty and Mane or Trent and, I don't know, some really cheap midfielder who's just no good, then you might actually pick Mane. And that is kind of the difference. Luis Diaz to stay at 8. Nah, he'll go up, I think. They'll have seen too much from him. 8.5, 9 maybe. This is the thing. You can't risk that Diaz becomes an obvious pick. That's another thing that you want to do with the pricing. You don't want to make players obvious. I know there's obviously there's going to be players like Salah you just can't do enough with. I mean, you could price Salah at like 16, 17 million maybe, but that would be a bit stupid because they also want people to be able to pick the teams they want as well, right? Yeah, I don't think Trent will be 9.5, but I mean, I don't know if they will go that high, but Trent is a £9 million defender, I think. We'll see. I mean, I think I'm probably going to do a few price prediction videos, like probably at some point anyway, if I can be bothered during pre-season. I feel like when it came down to actually having to put it on screen, I might go for like 8.5 for Trent, but I feel like he is a £9 million player. Man United players will be great value next season. Yeah, I agree. And I know people will, laugh it off. Man United are rubbish. Ten Hag's going to do nothing, etc. But they're the teams that are more interesting, I think. Like, we know Kane and Son are going to be expensive. We know that Liverpool are going to be expensive, and they're going to be great options. You want to try and find the value pick. So Chelsea, like Lukaku, will probably come down a bit in price. Man United players will have to come down in price. They're kind of where you start looking at a bit of value. And who knows what Ten Hag might do? Who knows? Kulusevski might still be a bit of a bargain next year as well. He will go up in price. He might be like 7.5 or 8. But he could still be a bit of a bargain. They're the kind of players that I would look at. Obviously, you do want to know Trent's price and Salah's price, but they're obvious picks. Fernandes should be between 10 to 11. Yeah, I honestly, and again, like, it's hard to give a player price or a reaction to a price without knowing everybody else's price. But I think Fernandes has to be 10 minimum. I know it's tricky because obviously he did so well last season, but he might not be on penalties anymore. Stop kicking the freaking cable. We don't know what position he's going to play in, etc. Like, he's got to be 10 million max. Oh, I've kicked the cable out properly now. Hang on. Oh no, we're back. Maguire 2.5 million, yeah, possibly. Foden will probably go up in price a bit. He was 8. How many points is he on? 135. Do you know what? He might not go up that much. 8.5 possibly. Mitrovic, a lot of people think he will be 7 million just because of how many goals he scored. I hope they price him at 6.5. And not because I want someone that can go and score 40 goals for 6.5 million, but I just think if you price him at 7, you really start putting people off quite quick if he doesn't hit the ground running. Am I bringing in Haaland? Who knows? I wouldn't lock anyone in right now apart from probably Salah. Bruno's not going to go down to 7.5 million. He did too well the previous season to go down to 7.5. And again, maybe you genuinely think that should be the price, but there's a few people saying it, but they're not going to price him at 7.5. He could come down to like 8.5 or 9. That could happen. Yeah, a lot of people, as is inevitable every year, a lot of people are asking me about videos during the off season. I do have a bunch of things like written down. I don't know if I'm going to do most of them, to be honest. I think a lot of people. I feel like you get a lot of comments about content in the off season, but actually no one really watches them. Like, so I don't know. I think, okay, Simply FPL was joking. Yeah, I know, but a few people have kind of said it in the chat anyway. But whatever. Yeah, I think, like, for me, the season can be quite intense when you're making like 6 to 7 videos every single week for a large period of the season. So I do kind of really appreciate the time off, if I'm honest. So I don't think I'll be, like, you're not going to get daily videos from me during the off season. As soon as FPL is out, then I'll be boring you for like a month or two, for sure. But before that, like, I did like the greatest players of all time on Fantasy Football Scout. So I did like the best midfielders ever, looked at their season titles, the best forwards ever. I could do some of that content on my own channel. But I'll see. Am I doing a Game Week 38 watch along? Yes. I'm a little bit annoyed that the internet kept going on the deadline stream earlier, because last year I had massive problems on the final day of the season trying to stream. So I really hope that doesn't happen again. I wish they brought players in starting at like 7.8 and 9.3. Yes. That could be interesting, for sure. I don't think it matters a lot of the time, but I do think there are some players that come in and you think they should be a bit more expensive, but not all the way up to 0.5. I think defenders, a lot of the time, is like that. So if you were going to make Trent, I don't know, 9, but you didn't want to make James, or sorry, you're going to make Trent 9, but you didn't really want to make Robertson 8.5, but you think 8 is too cheap, then price him at 8.3 or something like that. That could work for sure. But again, you've got to remember, FPL is all about simplicity. It's about getting people in. It's about getting people to watch the Premier League. That's basically what the game is for. And so 0.5 and 0 is just easier for people. Like, it always adds up to around 100 million. Around 100 million. Job done. Do I think the game will launch end of June again? Yeah, I'd be surprised if it doesn't. I think they'll be looking to get it out as soon as possible, right? I mean, if anything, they should delay it a bit to get the player prices right. But again, it's all about engagement for the Premier League. Oh, good question. What difference will 5 subs make to the game? Should FPL adapt? I don't think FPL needs to make major changes because of the 5 sub rule. I don't think so anyway. I mean, if anyone's got any ideas, I'm happy to think about them. But I think we should... I don't know if we need to worry about it too much. Like, about picking our squads. There's going to be some players that tend to always stay on 80 to 90 minutes, but I think for the most part, we're not going to suddenly see like 5 subs every single game for every single team. Like, if they're 3 or 4 nil up, you might, but I don't think it's going to make a major difference to how we play the game. Do I have another job outside of YouTube? Nope. I am very grateful and appreciative that this is the job, so thank you very much for watching. In fact, don't stop watching, because then I won't be able to do this, and I don't know what the hell I would do. Pep Roulette will be real again next season with 5 subs. Yeah, probably. They should give points for first half clean sheets due to the 5 sub rule. Do you know what? I think that could just be a good rule anyway. But yes, I'd be a rubbish plumber. I'm terrible with DIY. World Cup fantasy streams, yes, 100%. I was surprised by how well the Euro fantasy content did, so I would definitely be doing World Cup stuff. I might try and get some help with it as well. So one thing for sure, you're not going to see many streams from me until the FPL game is back up, and even when it's back up, you're not going to see too many streams from me until closer to the season start. People just don't tend to tune in so much to live streams when the game's not live, or even, sorry, when the season's not live. So I'll be doing some videos during the off season, but like before the game launches, but they won't be live for sure. You reckon I'd be a good movie critic? I'd be an awful movie critic. I'm very bad. I'm in like kind of analysing stuff like that. Like I kind of just watch it and think, yeah, I really like that, or I didn't. And if someone asked me why, I'd be like, just did or just didn't. Watch this video predicting which players you think will do well next season. Yeah, I could do like a prediction video for sure. But again, that relies on the game being out. Pep made 0 changes today. 5 subs won't change him that much. No, I guess, yeah, he does tend to keep players on quite a lot at the moment. A Ragnarok watch along. No. Hell no. I'm watching Black Box at 10:30. I'll be asleep. I'll be asleep by 10:30. England play on the first day. Yeah, Harry Kane captain. Absolutely. Locked in. Am I going to go on a long holiday somewhere nice? I don't know, to be honest. We'll play that by ear. The problem is, right, and again, it's only a minor complaint, and there's not many people in this situation, but not knowing when FPL is going to launch is really not great for making plans for your personal life. Thor is on Channel 4 right now. Can't watch it. Not if it's the third one. A road to victory vid of the winner's season. That's a good idea. I like that. I'll jot that down. I'll put that on my content calendar plan thing, which if you saw it, it's like, yeah, it's like, it's interesting. I mean, it works for me, but it wouldn't work for someone trying to like sell a content planner because it's just a big mess. It's a bit like when, you know, like when you're younger and then your parents tell you to clean your room and you're like, I know where everything is. That's basically what my content plan is like. When are you going to actually win FPL? Never, probably. I mean, that is the sad reality. Most of us are never going to win FPL, right? Because you can only have one. It takes a whole year to be able to go again, and it takes an incredible amount of luck. And again, that is, I feel like I always have to caveat this. That is no offense to anyone that's won it. It's no offense to anyone that might win it this year who is close. But you do need a bit of luck, right? We all know that. It's not a problem. I would love to be going for world number 1 and getting a lot of luck next year. The current number 1. So I tweeted about this earlier. The current number 1. Oh, it's actually changed. Oh, I thought Beano Baby was number 1, but they're not. So Suvansh Singh is number 1 with 40. Wait, hang on. Oh, okay. Okay. I read it wrong. I read it wrong earlier. 44 points. No chips. Sessegnon on the bench, who is only going to come on if Saka or Trent miss out. Has Watkins. Very nice having Watkins. Captain Richarlison, again, very nice. But not many other players double game week wise to come. But they do have Saka and Trent. And Schmeichel in goal, bit unlucky. All chips used. Jamie, free hit played this week, 72 points. Not quite as high as mine, but you know what? You're number 2 in the world, so you're definitely having the last laugh. Richarlison captain, Ings in there as well. So went for the Ings, De Bruyne instead of Kane, Coutinho. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same team as mine, actually. Jota on the bench. God, that's a lot of team value. Mad. That's all chips used as well. I think most people now they've pretty much used their chips. Or bench boost last week. 201 points. Hang on a second. 201 points now, free hit this week. Look at this. From 393rd to 10th to 2nd in the world. That is absolutely mad. What an end to the season. And also, this is their team for next week. So they got Schmeichel against Southampton. They got James and Alonso against Watford. Diaz is injured, obviously. De Bruyne captain. Oh my God, look at this team. It's full of differentials as well. Oh my God. So, if Salah's injured, then Mane and Diaz could play the last game against Wolves at home. Wolves who keep conceding goals. They've even conceded to frickin' Norwich. Mad. This team could win it. I love it. Look at the differentials. That is huge. 200. Imagine that. 200 to go from 393rd is already amazing. And then to get 201 points. And by the way, they could be first after this week. Because they're on 72 and they've got a lot of double game weekers to come. If Vardy and Maddison start again, Richarlison gets something else, I mean, good chance of taking over number 1, I would say. Especially, I know these are all obvious things to say, but if Saka and Trent stay quiet, then you would imagine that Jamie is going to overtake. There's also a free hit in third place, but hasn't got as many points, and they've captained Son. So this guy or this person is not going to overtake the person above them. 26 points. This person was number 1 last week, were they? Oh my god, they were number 1 last week. Oh my god, they're on 26 points. 26 points. Wow. Wow. I'm actually going to do a video on the race for world number 1, but I'm not going to do it until the game week is over. I was going to do it last week, and then I thought, well, one, I couldn't be bothered in the end because I was busy on Friday. But I'm going to do it for next week, I think. I think that'll be interesting. 26 points. Schmeichel. Still got Mason Mount to come and Saka and Trent, but that looks down and out to me. Looks down and out. 81. Free hit. 81. Who did they have that I didn't have? Barnes. Look at that. That's what you need right at the end of the game. Right at the end of the season. Maddison, Barnes and Vardy. I didn't have Luka Dean though, so Jesus. Oh, Football is Life is in the chat. Football is Life, you're not in my mini league. Where are you? Where are you? Let's be having you. That is amazing, honestly. 10th to 2nd. From 393 to 10th to 2nd. They were outside. Like, and don't get me wrong. I mean, to be fair, really good season. Like, it's not like they've had a bad season. Oh, Jamie here. They've been triple figures for a long time, but to be 1000th game week 33, to be second in the world, probably number 1. I don't think anyone's. I think you'll be number 1 by the end of this week. I don't think the current number 1 can keep you off their tail. They need a big performance from Saka and Trent. Like, big. Look at some of these points. Sorry, we'll come off this in a minute. We'll do some normal questions. But 26 points. 31 points. Ouch. Not good. Castagna. Yeah, that didn't go too well in the end. Yeah, man. Jamie. I reckon Jamie is odds on to win now. I'm going to give him the title right now. I just think this team, I mean, maybe not, right? Maybe not, because if Salah plays or whatever, but like, there's 3 big hitters the final day. Like, if Mane gets rested, the perfect situation now for Jamie is Mane gets rested against Southampton, is fully fit to play Wolves. And then the defence is pretty much all there. There is a few injuries here. There's a few injuries, obviously. Diaz, Dennis is out, etc. But I guess next week you just, like, if this is your team, you probably just do Diaz to another defender. I don't know. Anyway, you just jinxed him. Yeah, probably. But look, whatever happens next week, I think you're in America, right? You're gonna have to stay up. Actually, no, it'd probably be a good time for you, actually, wouldn't it? Because it's you'll probably be like 5 or 6 hours behind. I wish I had 26 points this week. Yeah, man, there's some horrible scores. But, like, on the flip side, if you've not free hit to get a good score, you would have free hit before and hopefully got a good score then, right? Has M, thank you. You retracted the message. Price prediction for your man, Rafinha, if he stays and Leeds survive. Probably the same, 6.5. I mean, what price? How many points is he on? 136, maybe 7. Would you shave your beard off if you won FPL? Probably not. I mean, sure, if that's what it takes for me to win FPL, I'll shave my beard off. I have done it before for like November and stuff. Doesn't look great though, to be honest. What do you think of FPL including managers as part of our squads and basing their points on the match result? I think the question I always have is, Does that make the game better? That is the ultimate question. Does having managers make the game better? I mean, maybe. I don't know if it does though, really. I mean, it would be interesting. It would be different, but I don't like different is not always better. My best ever rank is like just outside top 1,000. Terrible idea. The whole point is we are the managers. Yeah, fair enough. You'll be getting in Ben Me straight away. Would you buy Rafinha if you went to another Premier League club? Look, I would never write anyone off apart from James Ward-Prowse. there's two things I will write off before next season that I won't have in my Game Week 1 squad. Almost certainly is James Ward-Prowse and a premium goalkeeper. And probably, hang on, let me look at goalkeepers for this season. Who's right up there? Actually, there's not actually, interestingly, right? Maybe this is because they just priced correctly. There's not too many like 4.5 million goalkeepers that started at 4.5 that are right up. Like Ramsdale's probably the best one, so he'll get a price rise. But I don't think he's going to go up to like 5.5. So yeah, maybe a goalkeeper that was 4.5 that's going to get a bit of a price rise. Maybe they will be in the team. Would you double the chips for each half of the season? Yeah, I kind of like that idea. I mean, there's lots of ideas that are being talked about right now that have been talked about like so many times in the past. So, you know, changing the bonus system, making it so that multiple players can hit certain bonus tiers. It's been talked about a lot. Chips in both halves of the season. Like, I mean, when was the last time I was on the Scoutcast? Because it's been years, I think, and like we used to talk about that on there. So, like, yeah, I like that idea. I think having a triple captain for both half of the season, I'll take it. It means you don't always have to. You don't always have to do them in double game weeks. I know you don't have to do them in double game weeks anyway, but let's be real. That is the most optimal play most of the time. Although I haven't bench boosted in the double game week for 3 seasons now. Start the day at 130k. 9 hours later, and I've dropped 40. You dropped 47k. Ouch. Would Premier League be more competitive next season? This season, Chelsea gave a run, but then City and Liverpool were just too strong. Yeah, look, I mean, things can change. Like, players can come and go, obviously, and that might change results. But I think, like, I know we obviously know by league position and amount of points just how good Liverpool and Man City are. But even when you like look at the stats, so to give an example, if you look at I can only do this on my other screen. If you look at non-penalty expected goals per 90 minutes, right? So per game, Liverpool are 2.19 and Man City are 2.15. So in terms of attack, they're almost identical, and that therefore on average they create enough chances to get 2 goals every single game. Right, which is huge. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but that is massive. To put it into perspective, the next best team is Chelsea, and they are 1.58. So that's more than 0.5 a game worse than Liverpool, Man City. It's very hard for Chelsea to narrow that gap. Now, obviously, you know, all 3 of those teams can go and beat all the other teams, and then it could just rely on results between them. But it never works like that. And Man City and Liverpool just generate too many chances for scoring goals. And then if you change it to to concede goals, Man City are the best defence by quite a way, 0.69 expected goals conceded per game. Like, Man City are the best team in the league. And Chelsea then are the next best. So Chelsea have kind of got the defence on point, but they're far behind City and Liverpool in terms of goal threat. And I know all these things are obvious by just watching the games, right? But like sometimes putting the numbers gives just, I don't know, helps me visualize it a bit more. If James and Chilwell had stayed fit, I wonder what their XG would look like. Probably not as high as you think. They would have obviously done better, like no doubt in that, but probably not as high as you would think. Sky is trying to dress up the end of the season, but it's a very uncompetitive league. Oh yeah, right now, I don't know what Man United, Chelsea and Spurs can realistically do. Liverpool and Man City will be the top 2 teams next season, pretty much. Like Conte, if he gets a few players in and stays, he could do interesting things. Like Spurs are fourth in terms of expected goals per 90. And I can't remember what they were towards the start of the season, but they have been climbing and they are just behind Chelsea. So maybe they could do something, but to compete with Man City or Liverpool is so difficult. Or if Lukaku would turn out to be the striker Chelsea hoped he would be. Yeah, I'm not saying they couldn't improve, but I don't see them closing the gap between Liverpool and City. And to be fair, Chelsea might not need to close the gap by that much, right? Again, they could go and beat all the other teams and then just hope they beat Liverpool and City in their matchups. But again, it doesn't always work like that. There's always going to be a slip up somewhere along the way, and Man City are just less likely to slip up than the rest of the teams. Simple as that. 40 points from top 10k, still have 8 double game weekers left, top 10k still on. Yeah, but it's going to be difficult. I'm only 16 points off and I'm still a bit like, not sure. Brennan Johnson will be a steal, 6 million or less for sure. Yeah, I've got no idea about the promoted players, so we'll do a few videos on them before the start of the season. Like every year, I don't really follow the Championship that much, so I just wait until the season begins, pre-season, then I'll start looking into it. Would Newcastle challenge for top 4? Nah, nowhere near. I don't think. I think those positions below, kind of maybe top 6 or 7, are kind of quite clustered together, and like I think Newcastle could easily come like maybe 8th or 9th and take one of the teams that are going to finish there this year, but I don't think they're going to suddenly get into top 4. Can I join Let's Talk FPL if I come top 10k? What do you mean join? Excuse me. I see Arsenal finishing 8th and a new 20-year contract for Arteta. Who knows? I mean, again, looking at the numbers for Premier League, Arsenal are 5th for expected goals, 1.42 ahead of Man United. And defensively, they are 1.1, so they're like 6th best team this season. So they're doing all right, to be honest. Like, they're going to compete for top 4 again, you'd imagine. Let's see what striker and stuff they bring in first. I mean, it's not just about the numbers, right? We need to see what happens in the summer window as well. What do you think Kane will do next year? Stay or go? I mean, the thing is, where's he going to go now? Like, he's missed his chance to join Man City. I mean, anyone can join my league. If that's what you meant. Yeah, where's Kane going to go? I don't think Man United are going to stump up that much money. And to be honest, has he really got more chance of winning the league with Man United than the Spurs right now? Probably not. So, no. I don't think Kane will go because I don't think there's anywhere to go. Kane's not going to go to Chelsea. Surely not. They've got Lukaku. Are they going to sell Lukaku? You can't have Lukaku and Kane on the books, right? So the only way Kane is going to Chelsea is if Lukaku goes, and I just don't see that. Being a professional expert who you can consult. You want to join Let's Talk FPL? There's nothing to join, really. I mean, it is just me, essentially. Or you got fed up of Harvey Barnes not starting, so you took him out for Kulusevski. Oh, my God. That is unlucky. I feel for you. Kane to Newcastle, no. Money in Lukaku for Kane. I just think swap deals just don't happen that often. Kane to Arsenal, there's no chance. Honestly, I really think it's Man United or nothing. I don't think he's going to want to leave the Premier League because he's going to want that goal record. I just don't see where else he go. I don't think Man United are going to pay for him, to be honest. The money that it would take. Like he's like Levy's not going to just suddenly let him go for less. He's going to be 100 to 150 million price from Levy until his contract's up. That's the only way he's going to get out. City have bought Haaland. It's not happening. Kane's to Liverpool. They're just not going to pay that much money. I think he stays. Kane to Bayern. Again, I just don't think he's going to leave the league. He's He's got a genuine chance of being the highest goal scorer ever in the Premier League. He's staying, I think. I really do. I think he missed his chance. I think he should have gone. He should have pushed. Well, he tried to push, I guess. Should have gone to Man City if he could this season. Didn't happen, and so it's done. All right. I am going to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining me. Please do keep giving these streams and stuff a like if you have enjoyed them, and hit that subscribe button. That is the final Kneejerk stream of the season. I'll be back tomorrow with more videos, as I will be all throughout this week up until the Game Week 38 deadline. Yeah, thanks very much for watching. Hope you did well this week, and good luck to everyone in the top 10. Jamie, who was in the chat, fair play to you. That is an absolutely ridiculous couple of weeks. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you again soon.